Okay, so I just finished ACOMAF today, and I am totally in love with this book. It is so awesome, and I'm going to just rant about it, and this will probably be filled with spoilers. But I just love this book, and and I just want to express that love with my fellow readers who have all probably already read this book, and you've read it a second time this month because A Court of Wings and Ruin just came out. But this book was so awesome, and I just like today I figured, because I knew the book was gonna be a bit pricey when A Court of Rings and Ruin, and it would be a hardback, so I was gonna wait, but then because A Court of Mist and Fury ended on such a cliffhanger, I was like, no, I can't wait. And because my mom was already planning to run some errands with my grandmother, I was like, can I go with you? And then you can drop me off at Books a Million, and I'm going to see if it's there. So I had to go. So they took me, and luckily for me, it was there. And I was able to get it along with this really cool bookmark. Let me show it. Where is it? I can't find it. Where is it? Oh wait. I think I put it on her back. This really cool bookmark I ended up getting. But anyway, this book was A Court of Mist and Fury was so awesome. First, in case you haven't, so I'm sure I'm not going to sum it up because everybody knows what it's about, but I just love it. First, I liked Tamlin in the first book. I wasn't a huge fan, but I thought his and Frey's relationship was really cute. Like I said, I didn't like the whole scene when he, after he's become, during that special ceremony, Frey couldn't attend and she wasn't supposed to go to because, because of what would happen, because Tamlin would go all full on Fae, and he was supposed to hunt this other female fairy and ravish her sexually, but because Freya was human, and because she got restless and left her room, I don't know why, I can't remember. And like I said, and I don't fault her. I know that a lot of the female protagonists in those type of books, they will do that a lot, so I'm not gonna fault them for that. I am more forgiving of those because and I feel like I probably would have made that same mistake too. And he corners her and sexually assaults her and goes after her, and I don't know, but I felt like he kind of blamed her a little bit, and despite the fact that she should have listened to him in the first place, that yeah, she probably should have, but at the same time, he was the one who was all sexually aggressive with her, and it's like, that was no excuse. I did not like that part. But but as soon as I read this book, my feelings were mixed about Tamlin in this book. I definitely saw him as really controlling and aggressive, and I just did not the girl was going through PTSD after all that, what her experiences under the mountain and everything, and he did not understand. He was not helping her at all, and I was like, dude, seriously, you are not helping this woman. She is going through something. When he locked her up, when she was desperate to get out of the manor house, and she wanted more than just to walk around and stuff. It was like he would not let her, and he locked her up, and that is when I started to hate the character. That is not how you do. That was part of the problem. That's why that's the last thing you need to do for her. And it just drove me crazy. I was like, are you kidding me? Dude, and she just fell apart in that moment. And lucky for her, because of her bond, because of the bargain she made with Rhysand, all of a sudden, he was able to feel her and hear her crying out and asking for help. Just like when she was going to marry Tamlin at the wedding ceremony, she couldn't go through with it because she was going through all this, and she could not see herself getting married. It made her, and he consents her, and that is, of course, when he first comes to collect her, and he's like, I gave you a few months now, it's time I collect, you repay the bargain, and I fulfill your end of the bargain, and so he takes her in, and teaches her to read despite her reluctance, and, he tells her, he's the one who tells her about how that when she died, his powers, and that all the High Lords, including him, that they gave a little bit of themselves to Freya, and that's why she became such a powerful Fae. And she had all these little gifts here and there, and like she had gifts from each of the High Lords, and it was like so, and when she tries to tell Tamlin about them and ask him to train her, he's like, no, I can protect you, you don't need that, and he treats her like she's a little porcelain doll, that she's so breakable and fragile, and yes, ironically, she is like falling apart here, but he's not going about it in the right way. He is, and that is just, but like I said, when I started to hate him was when he locked her up. And then, Rhysand just takes her in, and despite how much she fights him and is like so, anti against him, and she constantly calls him prick. Calls him a prick. And it is just so, but then it becomes a term of endearment, like a flirtatious kind of thing between the two of them, which reminds me in the movie Strange Magic, which is the best movie ever, which is one of the best animated love stories ever, which is like a cross between Beauty and the Beast retelling and A Midsummer Night's Dream, and the main couple that ends up together, like, he calls her, when he captures her sister, in the story, the guy captures the main girl's sister, and she's like, give me back my sister, and threatening him, and he's like, and he calls her tough girl. And then later, when the two of them start to fall in love, he calls her tough girl. He flirtatiously calls her tough girl again, and that's what it reminded me of that. Like, and Freya calling him prick reminded me of that. And the two, and just, and their whole, like, one of my favorite moments is their flirting, when he says, he wants her to lick his wounds, because he kind of, she was beating him up pretty bad, and now he wants her to nurse. He wants her to nurse him, and he's like, go lick yourself, and, this little flirting that they got going on with their little secret note passing thing was so adorable. I love it, and it was so cute. I love Rhysand and Freya. They were so cute. They were so adorable, and I just love watching them and watching them flirt, even when she was fighting him and everything. That was just so cute. And now, what else I love, and I also love his family, like Morgan and Amryn are such awesome characters. They're so cool. And I want to live, like, yes, I love the spring and the daytime and everything, but the night court is so awesome. It's so awesome and so fun, and there's so much love and peace in there. But Veritas, I can't remember, Veritas, I don't know how to say it, but there is such a beautiful place, and I just love it. I would love to live there. And because I had just read the book Caraval, it kind of reminded me a little bit of that. With the magic and this beautiful, whimsical place, and I wanted to live there. It was so awesome, and I totally love, and like, I loved Morgan. Morgan was so awesome, and Amryn, and Cassian, and Azrael, and they were all such awesome characters. These characters, Freya's new family is totally awesome. They're so cool. All these characters. And another thing, like, what really, and, I started to feel sorry for Tamlin when Freya started falling in love with Rhysand, and then when they learned, spoiler, like I said, this is a video full of spoilers, when they learned that when Freya, actually, Rhysand already knew, but when Freya learns from the surreal that she and Rhysand are mates, that they made it, then, like, I almost felt bad for Tamlin, and I was curious to what happened, because because I kind of spoiled myself and read the last page and read the last sentence, so I knew that she becomes the Lady of the Night Court, and that she goes, but she has to go back to the Spring Court, that she was taken back, so I didn't know how that was going to happen, but I knew it was, because I kind of got spoiled, and she, like, so when I kind of felt bad because I was wondering how that was going to happen. I kind of felt a little slither of sympathy. That was going to be a major slap in the face for Tamlin. But then, he arrogantly, because he pitched a fit. It was like he was pitching a fit because Freya chose Rhysand and stayed and essentially broke up with Tamlin. And he had the nerve to think, oh, Rhysand has put her under a spell and everything. There's no way she could ever fall in love with him. She's too good of a person. Because, and that's partly Rhysand's fault, because he gives that cruel, persona and everything. So then she starts to, so she feels, so when Tamlin comes, he betrayed them and went to the stupid king of Highburn. It was all like, he made a deal with him, and like, that king guy was gonna give Freya to him, and like, break the bond and everything. And like I said, I was when in that scene when he broke their little bargain bond, for a second I freaked out, because I thought that meant he actually broke their mating bond. But no, he did not. Because you find out when you go to the scene where Rhysand is talking from Rhysand's perspective, you find out that Freya has another tattoo hidden on her body that marks their mating bond. And that he made her he gave her the ring and made her the High Lady of the Night Court, which was like, damn, Freya, you are the Lady of the Night Court. You are awesome. So she goes there. So basically, right, and Tamlin, and then he just, so unfortunately she has to, because they left this cliffy where she pretends that she was under a spell, and that just drove me crazy. I was so worried because Rhysand, I was worried that Rhys would believe it, but luckily, again, when we find out from his perspective that he didn't believe it, and he knows that Freya is now a spy. Of course, Morgana and Amaranth that's the last thing they want. They don't want Freya to be put in that position. And, in the beginning of the book, that's the last thing she wanted, because Tamlin asked her to do that too. But then, of course, at this point, she's so in love with Rhysand, and she is so much stronger of a person that she's more than willing. And Tamlin has just ruined his relationship with her, essentially. So, basically, she is pretending that she was under spell, like I said, and that she still loves Tamlin, and he's like, take me home. And so now she's like a fox in a chicken coop. Essentially, that is the reference that is the metaphor she uses at the end of the book, when her thoughts are being narrated and stuff. She is a fox in a hen house. And, and I think that Lucian suspects something. And it's like, yes! And like I said, and I hope there's a moment when when Tamlin finds out, and she's like, you really think, you arrogant bastard, that I would choose you over Rhysand? And guess what? I've already made a Rhysand, and the only way I could stand letting you touch me is that I pictured you as Rhysand. Or maybe her dreams, she is with Rhysand in her dreams. I don't know, but something like that. That's what I want. I want a moment like that, because after he went to the king and betrayed her, I felt no sympathy. I felt sympathy for Lucian, though, because I can forgive him. Yes, it pissed me off that he did not fight back and stand up for her and protect Freya and everything, but he also works for Tamlin. Essentially, Tamlin is his High Lord, and Tamlin can do some damage, can hurt him. So Lucian is it's harder for him. So, but I still like his character. And I still think he cares about Freya and sees her as a friend and everything, cares about her and respects her. And we know he has tried in the past to help her, but it has always backfired. So it's understandable that he does not want to get hurt again, and he's afraid. I mean, it is cowardly of him, but still, I'm willing to forgive him. And like I said, things are more complicated, because the one silver lining in that climax scene is that, the one bad, horrible thing that happened to her sisters is, they got turned into fairies. And, of course, Nesta, that's the last thing she wants. But at least, her and her sister get to be together again. They are together, they live forever and everything, which kind of sucks, which I know that's like I said, that's the last thing Nesta wants. But then, like I said, then all of a sudden, this is another reason why I'm okay with Lucy, is because he was there for Elaine, he comforted her, and then as soon as their eyes met, as soon as he saw her face, their eyes locked, he realized she was his mate. He said, you are my mate. But of course, Nesta was like, no, she is not. Which, okay, I don't blame her. I'd be pissed off too if I were in that situation. But I mean, I think Elaine is going to be the person who's accepting the situation, all she'll care about is getting Freya back, and then accepting that she's now a Fae, and that she can't be turned back into human. And yeah, she will no longer marry that Lord guy, but she now could get to know Lucian, and like maybe they could become something more to each other. That she could fall in love with him, even though he's a Fae. And now, of course, Nesta is gonna get to taste fairy food, and is gonna get why the human food tasted like ash to Freya. And so another couple I totally will ship is Cassian and Nesta, because I love when they butted heads. They reminded me of Freya and Rhysand in the beginning, the constant butting of heads and not getting along, but they were also equals. But then they had this moment where he was like, their eyes locked, and he was like, I will defend you and all that. I will defend your sister. I will protect Elaine too for you. And she, and Freya tells him that Nesta, despite her cold and cruel demeanor, that she will still be like, she will never forget how Cassian was willing to protect Elaine despite the fact that she's human. So I want them to mate at some point. I mean, I think Nesta will probably fight it, but I still want them to mate because they are so perfect for each other. And plus he can get over Morgan, who's clearly devoted to Azriel. Which, I love their relationship too, but it's so frustrating that he is so, like, Azriel will not show emotions and will focus, and I think he also has that mentality that Rhys has with Freya, which is, I don't deserve you, you deserve better. So, I love that. But you know what? Another thing that pissed me off is those queens. Oh my god, I want to bitch slap them. I mean, at least the one queen was on there, willing to help them. Of course, she died in the process, which really sucked. But at least she helped them. Okay, so, alright, but that is everything I loved about this book, and everything I hated. And like I said, I think Lucian suspects that Freya is playing Tamlin, but, I mean, and he still cares about Tamlin, because Tamlin was there for him, and gave him a home and all that. But, and I love everything about this book. I love everyone's backstory and and especially Rhys and Freya. I love them. And like I said, and I had to buy ACOWAR, which, by the way, I think ACOWAR is such a cool title because it's like a court of war, and right now they're all in the middle of a war with the King of Hybern, and I think the Spring Court and the Night Court will be at war too, possibly. But, by the way, what's really cool about this edition that just came out is that it's an exclusive edition. And yes, this is one of those annoying stickers that can't come off or will ruin the book. But it's at the bottom, so it doesn't cover anything, which is okay, which is tolerable to me. But this has really cool pictures on on this part, which is totally cool. Like, there's Freya, and there's her family, Rhysand with Freya, Amarin, Morgan, Azriel. I'm guessing because he's beside Morgan, and it's Azriel is the one with the short hair, and Cassian is the other one. And now her family will hopefully get bigger because now that her sisters are Fae too, and now they will, But then there's also this too, more pictures. And part of me, in a weird way, would love to see what Tamlin looks like. But here are some great pictures. See? Because I don't know, I was never very good at picturing what characters look like, Okay, so this is a nice addition. So, and I also got, so this is awesome. But I am so excited to read this, and I'm going to start this tonight. I am reading Siege and Storm from the Grisha Trilogy, the second book in the Grisha Trilogy. I have to read that one, too, at the same time, because I want to get to that trilogy finished, so I can get to Six of Crows, and then hopefully I'll get Crooked Kingdom for my birthday. I don't know if I will or not, but hopefully I will. Oh, and one more thing before I go, because I don't want to make this video 2 hours, because I think that's why I couldn't upload it. I made another version of this, and I tried to upload it, but it wouldn't do that, and I was getting really frustrated, so I finally was like, even though I didn't want to share my videos with my parents, I finally talked to my mom, and brought her up here, figuring that maybe she could help, but finally, she pointed out that my video was 2 hours long, so maybe that is part of the problem. So, before I go, oh, wait, that's not it. I want to share, okay, so before I go, this is a little list of songs I made, of songs that reminded me, especially of ACOMAF, more so of ACOMAF, which, okay, so, Arms by Christina Perri, which is a beautiful song, like, about the idea of these two people didn't realize their arms would be the one, the girl in the song doesn't realize that her arms would be the one to hold her and protect her, but the guy pushes her away, and she's like, is that the only way you know how to show me you love me? And it's just a beautiful song. Christina Perri, Arms, that's what the song is called. King of Anything by Sarah Bareilles. I think that's more of a Tamlin Feyre song, because it's like, the song is like about the idea of you think you're the king of anything, you think you can tell me what to do, you don't think your opinions matter more than mine, and when is it my turn to make decisions for myself? I've been hurting, and now I want to make my own decisions. And so, The King of Anything by Sarah Bareilles. There's 2 songs called Warrior on my list. This first one is by Demi Lovato. It's about, she's been someone who's been knocked down and beaten down by this guy, and then it might be a guy, but, I don't know. I mean, most songs like this are about lovers and stuff, and breakups and all that, and, but now I'm stronger, I am a warrior now, I'm fighting back. And essentially, that's kind of what the other warrior, no, actually, no, it's not. And the other warrior song is by Beth Crawley from A City of Bones. And it's a song where she's saying, I'm meeting this mysterious guy, and you've showed me who I really am, that I'm a warrior. And now she has become one, and everything, because that's how he sees her. And that's a song that I feel like fits. Both those songs I feel like fit Freya. The first one fits Freya's relationship with Tamlin, and then the other one, by Beth Crawley, fits her relationship with Rhysand. Love Me Like You Do by Ellie Goulding, which is a song, unfortunately that song comes from the soundtrack of 50 Shades of Grey. I'm not a fan of that movie or those books, but I like the song, and I'm sure, and I'm not going to explain that one, it's just, Skyscraper is another Demi Lovato song. It's like, you've knocked me down to the ground, but now I'm going to rise like a skyscraper. I'm going to be stronger, and I'm closer to the clouds up here. I feel like it's another Freya song. Love Me Like You Do is a Freya and Rhysand song, reminds me of them. And then 1,000 Years also reminds me of them. And how I will love you forever. I will love you for 1,000 years and 1,000 more. I was meant to love you, and I knew my heart would find you someday. I feel like that describes their relationship. And then The Lonely by Christina Perri. Again, I have a Christina Perri song CD, so I love her song, and I love her songs. Is The Lonely, which is, I think that's what it's called, The Lonely, and it's basically the song where she's a ghost of who she used to be. She's a ghost of a girl who she used to be, and she wants to get back to who she was and heal her. And I feel like that fits Freya, especially in this particular book. Okay, those are all the songs that remind me of either Freya and Tamlin, or Freya and Rhysand, or just Freya in this whole series so far. And I cannot wait to read A Court of Rings and Ruin, which I'm going to read tonight, like I said, because I can't help it. I can't wait anymore. This was an awesome book. And and at least now, reading this now, I won't have to worry about, the whole spoilers thing, avoiding, which is just very hard on social networks. But anyway, I'm gonna say goodbye. So this video is not once again more than almost 2 hours. All right.